Welcome to another episode of Reezy Talks. This is pretty big. This is episode number 25. I hope I put those numbers in the right order on the screen. 25, 25. Either way, this is episode number 25, and I'm glad to have you guys on the show. Usually what we do is we do Q&A about Amazon and eBay. So mostly Amazon, as that's my expertise. I'm getting back into eBay lately, and I have started becoming pretty not super successful, but understanding of Amazon merch and how it works. So I'm able to answer questions about that as well. Today actually hit a milestone. I passed 24,000 followers on Instagram. So that's pretty cool. And of course, I'm also available to help you guys with social media tips, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, video questions, anything that I know about. If you guys are interested in extracting that information from me and me giving you advice or tips on that, now is the time for you to do it for sure. Let's see who we got going up. We got Joseph Gallegos, who was the actual first commenter after me because I said first myself. I like to play with you guys like that. What up, Brian Nine Neighbor? My man, Brian, the Oakbrook Picker, also known as the Oakbrook Clothier on Instagram. Mother's Mustache, we got the usual up in here. We got Super Spro Bros up in here. How you doing, Scotty? I got me some coffee right here. It's really hot, though. You know how when your coffee is extremely hot, you have to swill it. You need like 20% air intake with the sip. That's what I'm working with right now. We got Resell Dude. We got Steve in Florida. We got Julio Velez. We got Mike Kelly. What's up, Gift of the Thrift? Thanks to those of you guys that have purchased water bottles. I sold 9 of these today, and they're going to ship out tomorrow. If you guys want to pick one up, they're $25 plus shipping. There's a link right at the top of the description down there. Definitely appreciate your guys' support. It means the world to me that I could release a private label product with my brand on it and that people would actually want it. So that's pretty cool. What's up, Murray Michael, Tina's Closet? 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get this Instagram live broadcast going as well. I had it going for a second. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi here, aka the Wi-Fi. Let's see. Hopefully I don't get kicked off again. Sorry for the distraction for one moment, guys, while I get this Instagram going. It helps me to have good content for you guys because I get questions off of Instagram as well. So if you guys have any questions, please type question in all caps and then put your question in the chat, or just go ahead and give me a call. The number is 209-83-REEZY. 209-83-REEZY. I believe that's 209-837-3399. 209-83-REEZY. We're live on the hotline, ready to take your calls. I wish I had like a red bat phone, like when the commissioner calls Batman or Bruce Wayne and it's like red. I wish I had that. That would be amazing. If you guys didn't see the video that I put out last night, I did a really late drop, but I did a video regarding the update of FBA scan just to clear it up for all you guys. Oh, we got States Place in the chat. What's up, Nicole? If you guys need to know about selling clothing on eBay or eBay in general, or maybe some YouTube tips, talk to Nicole. She is a gangster at eBay. She's like the most productive lister ever, like 100 listings a day. She crushes it. Back to their last thought. I did a video last night regarding the FBA scan update, and hopefully that can help a lot of you guys be less confused with the new layout, the way it looks. But most importantly, I wanted to highlight the major change was that they added in average sales rank in database mode, which means, and you can set triggers by that, which means that you can scan pretty reliably on a phone without having cell phone service. So if you have workers that work for you and they do just books and CDs and DVDs, You could send them out to run their routes or to process massive amounts of inventory using an iPod Touch or a phone that doesn't even have a cell phone service. So that could save you a good amount of money a month, especially considering that FBA scan costs money also. Again, it's worth mentioning that we have large competition in the house with FBA scan made by a friend of mine, Caleb Roth, the book flipper. His software is called Scout IQ, and it's pretty amazing. It's actually the reason why we got this update from FBA scan, because they felt the pressure from competition in the market. Whereas for the last 15 years, there's been no competitor for FBA scan. There's been no other scanning software that had database mode in the US, which is kind of crazy. But now there is, and so now we're getting a competitive market, and they essentially stole all the features that Scout IQ has. I've been using Scout IQ to scan books lately, but I still use FBA scan in live mode to scan everything else because Scout IQ only does books at the moment. They plan on branching out of books to CDs, DVDs, and every other category, as well as going to Canada, UK, and other markets. Basically, it's going to be a takeover. It's just going to take a minute. So if you guys have any questions, please call in. The number is going to be 209-83-Reezy. If we don't get any questions, I think I will answer some questions on my Anchor. My Wi-Fi is deaded. I can't go live on the iPad. But my Anchor radio station, if you don't know what Anchor is a great station. It's like the Snapchat for voice. It allows you to make a podcast with your voice really easy. We got a call. Hold on. You're live on Reezy Talks. Who's this?
Yeah, it's Mike Poe, slinging Amazon. What's up, man?
What up, Mike Poe? How you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, I just have a quick question. I have a shipment of shoes I sent in on August the 8th.
Okay.
And the shipment is showing still receiving, but whenever I go to the reconcile tab, the shipment was fully received or whatever in the warehouse, like August 13th. It said that of the box there's supposed to be 3 shoes, only 2 arrived. It's saying that one of the pairs weren't in there, and the status and action required tab says it's ineligible for investigation, automatically investigated, and received quantity confirmed. So do I just have to take the L on the shoes, or is there something more I can do?
Definitely not. What I would do is, first of all, call Amazon, because their system is super automated. I'm sure you're starting to figure this out, right? And
yeah.
If they can brush you off in any way, they're going to try and brush you off, and that saves them time and money, right? So if you don't, there's so many situations that are just like this, where if you don't speak up, you're definitely going to take an L, and they're happy for that because they save time and money. So what you have to do is you have to call in on the phone and get a hold of a native English speaker, a domestic customer service agent, someone that's going to get the job done. Because a lot of the times the customer service reps are not too capable, and especially with email, the reps are they're measured in their metrics, like how long it takes them to reply, how many cases do they have open, how many did they answer a day. So they'll just open your message and then they'll just reply with something that makes no sense, to where you can tell they didn't even really read your message, right? So I would call them and let them know, like, I'm assuming you obviously have box contents, so that's kind of proof of what was in the box, but more proof is the weight of the box, right? So just look at the total weight of the shipment, and then or of each box, and like reference that to them. Be like, look, there's no way there was only this many, because the average shoe weighs this much, and look how many units were in the box, and look at the box weight of the postage I purchased, etc. And if you're lucky, you'll just get reimbursed for them at what it would have sold for.
Okay.
But yeah, it's sometimes it's a bummer dealing with them, but you have to. What will happen a lot of the times is you'll be like, you're sitting here wondering, like, what do I do? What do I do? And then you just contact them, whether it's email or calling in or whatever, and you just voice your problem, and then it's like fixed instantly, even though you didn't really provide, proof or whatever. So that's further to my point that like they're just trying to milk you for their saving money basically, because think about how many sellers they have. It's like McDonald's not proactively offering barbecue sauce when you order chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? They save 2 cents per every order of chicken nuggets, and that's like $1 million a day, right? So
yeah,
you got to play their
like
game.
One little tip, there's like one little tip like I'll share for people that are listening that I found out is when I first started, I called them quite frequently, and I finally asked because I finally got someone from the USA to call me back.
Right.
And I said, is there a way I can just talk to you guys every time? And basically, whenever you call into wherever you call in, and it's foreign and whatnot, and once they get your email and they get access to your account, and they say, how can I help you? If you say, can I speak to a captive call center, that's basically like Amazon internal like secret code for like USA call center.
Captive call center.
Captive call center, like captive,
wow.
like you've been caught.
That's a huge tip.
Yeah. It works for me like every single time.
That's great, dude. Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah. I didn't even know that one. I would just call, and if I don't get a capable person, I would be like, can I speak to a domestic customer service agent, which I think it's doing the same thing, but it's not, their code, it's basically like, they're like, oh, when they hear that, they know the job's done. They're just not even going to try anymore. They'll just send you off to a capable person.
Yeah, the first couple of times I used the word captive, like the people, I guess they're in India, wherever they're from, they were kind of like freaked out. Like, how do you know that? Like, where are you calling from? I guess it's like, it's legit, like the Amazon code for USA. So
right, great, yeah, but that's a huge tip.
Just wanted
Thanks,
to share
Mike.
that too.
Appreciate that,
all
Mike.
Right.
Let me know when your merch comes in. I gotta see that.
All right, right on, man. I'll post it.
All right, man. Have a good night, Mike.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for calling in, bro. If you guys don't know, that's Mike Poe, and his Instagram, I believe, is slangin_Amazon. So he did just hit us with a nice tip right there. So I'm going to give him a shout out and recommend you guys to go give him a follow on Instagram. Obviously, we're on YouTube, and a lot of people that aren't live right now are watching it later on YouTube. But I reference Instagram a lot because Instagram is where a lot of the community is, right? So Instagram is the spot for resellers. Of course, Facebook has more traffic than Instagram, but with more traffic comes more problems. And I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I think I would need a degree in psychology to explain why. But there's way less BS on Instagram, and the community is rock solid. So if there was a platform that was the platform of resellers, I would say it is Instagram. Now, if you want to get into Shopify and private label, I would say that's probably going to be on Facebook. I don't know why, but everybody has a different place. I think Instagram is great because you can share pictures with each other. The code that he mentioned was say that you want to speak to a captive call center. Someone up here I saw said, why are you not using AirPods? The reason I'm not using the AirPods is because, let me try to tune the mic a little bit better. Hello, 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 hello. The reason I'm not using the AirPods is because I don't even need to wear these headphones. I just like to wear them when people call in so that I can make sure I'm holding the phone in a proper place in the microphone so you guys can hear it. But these headphones are not plugged into my computer. They're plugged directly into the microphone. So I wouldn't be able to plug AirPods in and do it that way. It just doesn't work like that. If I wasn't using the microphone, if I was using the AirPods as the regular headphone and microphone setup, it would work. And I did do a broadcast like that with Posh Hanger where we each wore a separate AirPod because each one can be used separately as a microphone headphone. And that worked out great because I had to set up mobily at her studio. But if you're using a mic, you can't use them. Captive call center, that was the big tip from Mike. So if you guys would like to call in, the number is 209-83-Reezy. State's Place is in the chat just answering all kinds of questions. Killing it. DJ Dior says Earth is flat. Hey, it might be, man. I don't know. I've done some research. It's enough to keep me interested. I like to say I don't think the earth is flat, but I'm not so sure it's round anymore, which is crazy because I'm fairly scientific. You're live on Reezy Talks. Who's this?
Hey, what's going on, Reezy? This is Drew. Drew right now.
What up, Drew? Thanks for that
Everything great, man.
that email that you sent me about the Manny Coates podcast. That was pretty cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Backstory. Let me tell everyone real quick. Backstory on what I was just talking about is Drew linked me to a podcast that he wanted me to listen to, which was an episode of the Manny Coates AM PM podcast. Manny Coates is a straight shooter. He's doing pretty well, and his podcast is pretty decent. Kind of guy that will drink whiskey while he broadcasts, so I like that. But he had a guest on his show that was running a couple Amazon accounts to the tune of like 2.6 million a year. But the interesting thing is that he was selling insects on Amazon. So not live insects, guys, and not FBA, because you can't send live animals to FBA, but MF. So he was selling crickets, worms, and some kind of beetles or something. But apparently
Dubai roaches.
Dubai roaches, the ones that live big. Anyway, so that's really interesting. Go check that out if you guys haven't. Do you know what episode that is? What was it? Episode 125 or something?
Oh, man, I can't remember the number.
Something like that. Episode 125. I'm not sure. But pretty cool concept right there, selling crickets on Amazon. And the dude even said he was talking about how he likes to use text messaging to launch products, like text message service. I believe he uses Slick Text. And also he was saying that he would set up to get reviews and to create awareness for his new brands that he would launch. He would set up stands at farmers markets and give away products for free or for a discount. And then using Slick Text, requesting people to text the word beetle to 92254 or whatever, and then they would be in his funnel and he would be able to get reviews and stuff like that. So there's a lot of interesting information on that podcast. Sorry for you just reminded me. What's up, Drew?
What's going on, man? No, that podcast is definitely great. He's a very local marketing type of guy. He's very social media and within the meetups, but definitely very local. So definitely check that out if you guys get to see that. I have like 4 questions for you, but I don't want to take everybody's time, dude. So.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead for a couple at least.
All right, absolutely. So, man, shipping situations are fun and frustrating at the same time. And I remember, dude, one point you actually did the system where you are able to control how you send your stuff to Amazon instead of Amazon actually telling you what to put together.
Right.
And
so
I really can't remember that. So go ahead.
It's not 100% control on that, but it does allow you can manipulate it to get what you want. So basically what we're talking about, guys, is when you make a shipment to Amazon or when you make a shipping plan, when you move into the shipment stage, it tells you where you need to ship everything. And oftentimes it will be splitting your products up to go to different warehouses. And sometimes that's really that's not really cost effective for you, because it would want like one item over here and one item over there. And that's going to cost you like $8 to send one item versus like 50 cents if you're sending it in a box of that's like 40 pounds or whatever. And then so what you would do would put it to the side and wait or whatever. It's just not very convenient, and it's just another hiccup in your workflow and costs a decent amount of money and time. So there's a way you can get around it sometimes by manipulating the shipment. So what you would do is when you get to the point where it says it's suggesting where to send stuff, you haven't approved the shipments yet, but it's suggesting to send stuff. What you're going to do is, if you don't like the results, you're going to press back and go back into the shipping plan, and you're going to change your quantities to be higher, more units, and then go forward again into the shipment to see if it's going to offer you. Your goal is to get one shipment. It's going to create extra shipments that you don't need, but your goal is to get at least one shipment that you'll be able to put everything in. So if you say you only have 6 of an item, and when you go forward, it wants you to send 2 here and 4 there, go back and see what they say when you say you have 12 of them, because they might say, okay, put 6 in this box now, and 6 is all you actually have. So then you would create that shipment and then quickly delete the needless shipments that were created.
That actually makes total sense, dude. You know, I was actually trying to do the opposite. I was trying to put less items and then hoping that I could change it later, but it just wasn't working.
Yeah, either way, you can only change it a certain amount of percentage. So I just find it's a lot easier to, rather than trying to guess at what's going to work or whatever, just go blow it up, you know, and then see. Like, don't be afraid to put like 100. You have 100 of them and see, because I mean, it's also interesting too to just see what Amazon does, because that's also automated service, right?
Yeah.
So you got to maximize your profit and your efficiency, and I'm sure that's probably against Amazon's terms of service in some way or form. But as long as you delete those unnecessary shipments as quick as possible, you won't get dinged for that.
Money, brother. That's great. I want to go to the next one real quick.
Let's do it.
Instagram bots. What's your thought on that? Do you use any?
So what are you talking about? Like automatic comments or replies or likes or whatever?
Well, so right now I'm using one, and I had a free trial where I could get automatic follow people. I could automatic unfollow and automatic likes.
What's the website?
And now, so I'm AutoInsta.
Okay.
AutoInsta.me. It's actually the only one that I found out that it was actually working. I guess Instagram hasn't really caught up to them or something like that.
Yeah, they shut everybody down when they figure it out.
Right. So I'm just doing the auto likes for right now, and honestly, that's been working out as far as like the account being active. I get random likes and random followers, or at least more than usual.
Right.
But do you use any?
I do not, but I'll be honest, I did use it heavily in the beginning when I first started. I used Instagram, which was a big platform, and that was one of the first ones that got taken down. So I did, I never did automatic comments because I feel like that's the most spammy thing in the world, but I would regularly do the, I did the follow, unfollow for a while, but I also didn't like that. It creates this weird thing because sometimes people will comment and be like, oh my God, Reezy followed me or whatever, you know, and then like you unfollow them, and it's just super sleazy, right? So the one that I did use a lot that I really liked was auto likes. And on Instagram, you could pick like only auto like photos by people who follow Gary V, for example, and also use the hashtag hustle or hashtag thrift or stuff like that. And so the way I look at that is that it's not like cheating or whatever. It's just like, and it's not too unorganic. It's like you're one person, right? You're not like Gary V where you have a team of people to help you with stuff. And so as long as you're providing value and your profile looks good, all you're actually doing is just getting people's attention, like a little digital shoulder tap, you know, and you like their thing and they go, who the hell is Reezy Resells? And then they go and look. And if you're doing your job, you know, they're going to follow you or like your profile or whatever, you know. It's the one automated thing that you can do that's not very spammy. So I do recommend people to get creative if they're trying to grow their social media. It's not going to happen by itself. And you could either go crazy or you might get divorced if you spend enough time on there trying to but I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Like every time I open my Instagram app, I probably like, 100 photos. I'll leave 5 to 10, maybe 20 relevant comments. I'll go into other big Instagrammers profiles and I'll like I'll heart up the comments on those ones. That's a big one that didn't exist when I first started doing it. And people get a notification when you like their comment on Instagram. So that's pretty cool. Same thing on YouTube. I heart all my comments on YouTube because when I heart those, you get a notification, Reezy Resells hearted your comment or whatever. And that's pretty powerful just to be able to show people that you're giving them some attention or to get their attention if you don't have it yet. So just be careful because some of those can get your accounts shut down depending on how they're running it or whatever. So If
Absolutely.
it's automated, those are the ones that can get your account shut down. Instagress, the one I was using back in the day before Instagram shut them down, claimed that they had humans doing it for you, which was why they got around it for a long time. So just be careful. And there's
Yeah, well, I mean, I have it running it to the point where it doesn't do anything from 3 a.m. to like 9 a.m. And then
Right.
I have it sleeping also sometime in the afternoon, and it only likes about like 400 some pictures a day, and that's for the business account, actually, the business that I've been running. So since it's not my personal, I guess I don't treat it as in I'm actually going out there and commenting on people genuinely. It's just a business account. So that's definitely been helping out. And then just the likes, honestly, I was gonna get off the trial and really get on the auto follow and things like that. But I think I'm super happy with the auto liker and just
here's another tip too. I'm gonna make another video, like an update to my other like how to Instagram to grow your Instagram video, because I've learned a few things, and one of them is that don't like the comments on your own posts until you make the next post. So if I post right now, like I posted the one that says like, hey, I broke 25K on Instagram today, I haven't liked any of those comments yet. And I used to like them all the time, like right when they would come up. Now what I would do is I will wait till I make my next post. And when I make my next Instagram post, as soon as it posts, I'll go back to the last post and I will like all those comments, because people get a notification and you're increasing the likelihood that they're going to go check out your profile, right? And see your new post. A couple other things that I started doing too is that after I put my hashtags on my post, I will put my own username at the bottom of the hashtags. That way, anybody who like reads the entire caption and the hashtags and they get all the way to the bottom, my username is right there, and they're likely to click on that to go to my feed and see more of my stuff and like more of my stuff. Maybe follow me if they don't follow me.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna kill it with this last question because I'm gonna keep you here all day.
All right.
But so dude, RA. So I've been doing a lot of online arbitrage. Actually, I was doing more RA at the beginning. Now I'm more jumping into the OA.
Right.
But even if I still go at it, I still go to the stores and I still scout things. Now I use Scoutify. I mean, Inventory Lab is what I kind of started with, and I've always been using that. But I see that you're very onto FBA scanning now. Obviously, with the Scout IQ, it's
right.
completely different. But are those apps that you would actually use when you're even scanning toys? I mean, isn't it Scoutify good enough just for that, or am I doing the wrong thing by just using that?
Whatever. This is a good general tip. Whatever app that you can get results with is going to be good for you. Whatever one you use, Scoutify is free with your service, so it's not entirely necessary to use something else. I just like to have, I have been conditioned to use FBA scan, and I like all the options that it has on the screen. I actually haven't looked at Scoutify for a while. Do they have a one-click button to see the camel graph on there?
Actually, they have now. They have for you to be able to actually keep a camel, and you can even see right now if you're restricted to the product or not.
Oh, that's amazing! And still, it shows restrictions, even though other apps don't do it anymore. Like, did you?
Yeah, I guess the one thing that I was kind of worried about with that is the database, which it's always been on point, honestly. But I just wanted to make sure that the database was correct. I guess
if you're not. No, I'm sure it's good enough or perfectly correct. But if you're not selling books, CDs, or DVDs, you don't need database. The reason you need database is because I guess that's kind of untrue. Another thing is mostly you only need database if you sell books, CDs, and DVDs, because there's so much junk in that category that you need to really be able to scan extremely fast, right? Like when I go to scan to buy shoes or toys or anything, I don't even care to really use my scanner. I'll just use my phone camera. It's not as important, right? And database is not important, and furthermore, not that accurate. And when you're buying things that cost, more than $1, you want to make sure you're accurate, right? But Scoutify is great, especially because it's free with Inventory Lab. And I have a couple people that buy shoes for me, and I just let them use Scoutify, which is great because then I didn't have to pay for them to have another scouting account. And I also didn't have to give them.
I give that one to my wife too. She uses it.
Right. I didn't have to give them access to my Amazon seller app or anything like that.
Perfect, bro. Hey, man. Always, mad love. Appreciate everything you do. Always great information, and I'm glad to talk to you again, man.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Drew. Have a good night.
Not a problem, man. You too, brother.
All right. Later.
Bye.
That was a good call. Shout out to Drew. Let's see if we got any more. We got a question on YouTube from Rudy Voss. Says, question, what are some tips for people trying to sell toys for the first time? Ranking, sourcing, and restrictions. Thank you for all the info. So normally what I would say about restrictions is, hold on a second. Let me answer this call, guys. Sorry. Remind me. You're live on Reezy Talks. Who's this?
What's up, man? My name's Daniel.
What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, man. I'm a little hot up here in this Harry Potter's bedroom that I'm broadcasting from.
Good. Yeah, I'm out in Virginia, so I feel you with that.
How could I help you, bro?
So I just started doing books. I have two questions for you.
Let's do it.
One would be, when do you think you should start automating things? So when should you start using buying services like ScanLister and reprice and things like that? When do you think you should invest in that? Because I feel like when you don't have a lot of inventory, you should probably save money and just kind of do it yourself.
Yeah, so let's answer that one first before we go into the two, because my ADHD is killer. But so I recommend people to do, we got Rally Roots in the house. What up, Ryan and Allie? I recommend you to do everything manually using Amazon's platform for a while until you get the hang of things and fully understand how it works. But at that point, once you get used to it, it becomes, it's not necessarily a question of how much volume. It's just a question of what's your time worth to you? How much, some people,
Yeah.
You might be doing 1,000 books, but not have another job. Some people might have a full-time job, but be doing 1,000 books after they get off work. So their time might be worth more to them. It just totally depends on, basically, I just tell people when it starts to piss you off, when you could be doing it faster, and here's the kicker. If you're losing money because you're processing inventory, if it takes you 4 hours to process inventory instead of 2, you could have went out and bought more stuff for those other 2 hours. It's the same answer that I give to people when they ask me, when should I hire my first employee? Obviously you want to wait till you're making enough money to support yourself and bring on another person, and that how to use their time to make more money. Whereas either you're removing yourself from processing and then bringing in more money with your time. But when you're packing stuff up and you're just it's killing you because you could be making more money. It's really obvious if there's a book sale and you're missing it because you have to box stuff up, or maybe you went to a book sale the night before and then the next day you have to pass up your thrift store route, which is pretty good on the daily, because you're super tired from the book sale the night before. That's because you need some help. You know what I mean? So whenever you feel like you could be much more productive if you weren't doing it that way, and you also feel like you understand it, that's probably when you should look into things like ScanLister or Inventory Lab. And for repricing, basically when you're tired of doing it. So you should be repricing your stuff at minimum once a week, maybe once a day. It just depends on how quick you want to sell it and how you feel about it. Caleb Roth, the book flipper, he wrote a good article on his blog about repricing stuff. So if you search the book flipper and repricing, he has probably 1 or 2 articles, and he did it in a real scientific way where he analyzed a couple batches of books and he repriced some, and then some he didn't reprice for 3 months or 6 months or whatever, and then he brings you up to date with the results of that. So if you are repricing your stuff every single day, at the point where you get tired of it, I used to reprice 1 to 500 items a day. and it was driving me super crazy. And then I finally, not repricing, but initial pricing. And then I figured out how to automate the initial pricing of items using Reprice It as well. But if you don't use a repricer and you have like a decent amount of inventory, like 1,000 items or more, when you turn your repricer on, I guarantee you it will be your best day of sales.
Yeah.
Let's get that question number 2.
So the second question would be, well, I guess it's kind of twofold. So if you're looking to get into like clothes or I guess another niche, what would be the best way to start doing that? So like,
as far as retail arbitrage of
follow?
new items or
like
thrifting.
If I'm going to a thrift store, I want to use my time wisely.
Oh yeah, great.
Like, go to the book section, and like I don't want to like miss up.
Yeah, you want to be a thrift army knife.
Clothes
you want to be a thrift army knife. I'm gonna make a shirt about that. Be a thrift army knife.
Do you know people to follow?
Yeah.
That,
So
like,
right now in the chat, we got a couple people that you should follow that are really gonna turn up your productivity and your knowledge. So we got States Place. She's a moderator in here, and we got Rally Roots. I'm gonna make Rally a moderator right now too. That's Ryan and Allie. They are both of those people have YouTube channels. You got 10K on the Bay. You got there's so many people. There's Secondhand Swagger, Full-Time Deals. There's so many people that are doing so much stuff. The thing is you got to get on Instagram because it's so easy to post on Instagram. More content goes there than YouTube, right? And you don't always need a video. You just need a picture, right? And so if you just send me a DM on Instagram tonight, I'll get to it either tonight or tomorrow, and I will send you a fat list of people that you should follow. And just by following those people, you'll be in the community of resellers. And then make sure to interact, like their photos, comment on their stuff, provide value when you can. And they'll be, everyone's really helpful. But if you're also helpful, they'll be more likely to help you, as long as you're demonstrating that you're ready to help yourself, because some people just ask the lamest questions, which proves they're not really trying to help themselves. But I mean, we got Brian, the Oakbrook picker. His Instagram is the Oakbrook Clothier. I mean, you can learn so much stuff just from seeing pictures of what other people are finding. My personal favorite is when people post tag photos on Instagram. So they'll post one picture, but it will be like 9 pictures in one. And it will be a close-up of the tags of the clothing that they sourced. And so, like, obviously, I want to get into clothing more because I know it's like a gold mine. It's just like books to where obviously it's profitable, but unlike books, they don't have barcodes and you can't just scan it to see if it's worth money. It takes takes more effort, but it's definitely overlooked because it's unsexy, like how books are, right? Because people just think of it as junk or soiled clothes or whatever. But I mean, $1 to $10 is pretty easy on a piece of clothing at a thrift store. 1 to 20, 1 to 50, the occasional 1 to 100 or whatever. So I'm getting back into clothing, or getting back into eBay myself, teaching my wife. So I actually have some clothing that I purchased at a thrift store the other day with States Place. Nicole's help. I was texting her and showing her pictures of stuff. But I'm going to do a clothing haul of that. But yeah. The more you know, the more you're increasing your chances of finding something. Maybe you go and look at the books and there's a book or two, or not any books, but then you go and look at the shoes and you find some used shoes you can resell, or some jeans, or you find a Starbucks mug over in the kitchen area, or some kind of pottery, because you had learned to recognize the stamps on the pottery or whatever. So, I mean, the randomest thing, they're that frying pan that's sitting there in that stack of frying pans, they're all mostly worthless, but one of them might be worth $85, because it's like enameled ceramic, enameled cast iron or something like that, So one other tip for you too is that when you can't get out to source, eBay sold and completed auctions is a massive education tool. So you could sit at your computer, get on eBay, change it to show sold items or completed items, and then just type in pan or cup or cast iron or fishing reel or anything, t-shirt, you know, and just go through there, sort it by highest price to lowest price, and just start looking. And to me, like, that's really fascinating. I could spend my entire life doing it. And you'll start to notice, you'll see like 5 t-shirts that sold in a row, and the background is the same on those. So you know that's from the same seller. So then you click on that, and then you go into their store and say, let me see what else they have for sale. But then you switch that to sold, and you show it to highest to lowest. And you're like, wow, this guy sells 10 or 20 things a day, and he's selling for like 100 here. And you could start to realize, you're like, wow, this guy sells a lot of glassware. He specializes in glassware, you know? So like, the rabbit hole is so deep. You could learn a lot just from looking at eBay completed auctions.
Damn.
Yeah,
immense value, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely get on that. Send me a DM on Instagram and remind me that you called into the show, and I'll give you a fat link of people that you should follow.
Awesome. I will gladly repay you in the future. When I get my shit going, I'll tag you.
Awesome.
Bring people your way.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, later.
Later. I see if you called while I was on that call, please call back again. The number is 209-83 Reezy. Rally Roots says, Reezy, are we sunglasses twins now? I'm pretty sure those are the same ones I wear, but in gold. Amazon, what happened to the snap shades? I got the snap shades. I've just been mixing it up. These ones were by my desk, so when I forget to grab shades, I grab these ones. And I've been super conscious lately of how the ring light reflects in my glasses with the extra circle of the Snapchat glasses. Kind of looks crazy. What's up? You're live on Money Talks with Reezy. Who's this?
Been super conscious lately of how the ring light.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
I guess there's a delay.
Oh, yeah. There's a little delay. You're going to want to mute your YouTube. But, I mean, I'm live with you right here on the phone, so we're good.
Right. That's cool. So yeah, I'm from the Bay Area, Discovery Bay, and I'm taking advantage of a coaching team to private label. But I noticed yesterday you mentioned, or in a video that I saw you upload, that you've already private labeled a water bottle, and I was really interested in knowing if you're willing to share, you know, what you did real quickly, you know, for the community to find. Source the product, and then how you went about doing that.
Okay, so great question. How I went about doing what? Sorry, about getting it produced. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sourcing it. First of all, did you use Amaze Owl?
Use a what?
Did you use the app Amaze Owl?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, yeah, it's an awesome product because it's a lot more accurate than Jungle Scout. But anyway, I was just curious because when you did your video, you said you had 25 ways to make money on the internet, but what we ended up with was 15, and that's quite all right because there was a lot of stuff there. But I believe there's 25, man. I hate to interrupt you, but I'm pretty sure there's 25. I think I listed them all in the description too. Okay, and that's quite all right because I got on overload after I heard maybe the first 10. So
yeah,
but I get the impression that you kind of diminished private label because you're just you're booming with retail arbitrage and books and shoes and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feeling that private label isn't really such a big deal to you. But do you agree that it does create passive income because I don't believe in passive income at all. Everything's going to require your attention in some form, but private label is definitely profitable. The reason I get what you're getting at is like, why do I not do private label, right? Yes.
So the reason why I don't do private label is because I'm too distracted to do private label currently at the moment. I have a business that I built around books. I have employees and processing centers and contracts and relationships with different people. So for me, I'm already busy with that business, and that basically takes my attention, right? But and for me to stop doing that business, I have to let employees go and do other stuff, right? So for me, I'm distracted and I can't really do that. On top of that, I spend a lot of time doing what I'm doing right now on social media. So can you make money on private labels? Certainly. Can you make a lot of money? I guarantee you can make a lot of money. The thing is there's a lot of people, a lot of gurus out there, which I would say they're furus, they're fake gurus. They're out there telling you you can do this and make this amount, or I did this and I did that. And a lot of them are being honest and actually are, but much more of them are very dishonest and are exaggerating it. And the reason is because private label appeals to anybody. Anybody can sit at their computer and order some stuff, right? So that's a huge target. It's like an iPhone on Craigslist. You're likely to get ripped off, you know? But yeah, you can definitely make good money, but there's just some things that you want to do for private label. So when I made this water bottle right here, which I have for sale right now, I actually didn't do any of the research myself. If you bought one of these, you could see on the bottom, it says powered by Tipsy Chef Products, tipsychefproducts.com. And that is a friend of mine. He's also a reseller. His Instagram is Floridian Picker, and he owns that brand Tipsy Chef Products, where they private label all kinds of stuff for use in professional kitchens. And one of the things is water bottles. And a while back, he did some Instagram marketing where he sent out some influencer marketing where he sent out water bottles to different people on Instagram. I think Nicole States Place got one. I got one. 10K on the Bay got one. Maybe Rally Roots got one. I'm not exactly sure. But we became friends and we got to talking, and he had asked me, or I maybe mentioned that I wanted to do a water bottle with my branding on it. And so he provided a service to me where I used his supplier and he did all the footwork for me. And essentially all I did was provide the artwork and pay for it. And so I didn't have to do all of the critical steps involved with the private labeling. So if you have a supplier that you can trust already and you've ordered stuff from them, that's great, right? Because you know they're not going to rip you off and they're going to come through. But when you make your initial order for private label, obviously you have to get samples, but that doesn't really ensure quality. That just ensures that they have the ability to make it how you want it to be made. But then when you make your final order, you want to hire a third-party inspection service to inspect your private label shipment before it gets shipped to you, because that's when you pay for it, is when it gets shipped. And you want to make sure that they're not skimping on the quality at that point in the process, because a lot of these, there is a lot of people on Alibaba, a lot of factories that are, or people that aren't even factories, they're posing as factories that have access to a factory or a deal, relation, whatever. They will take your money and run just for a one-time, you know, they'll basically send you a product that's a third quality of what you actually ordered and then take all the extra money that would have been used to make the quality product. So very thankful to Enrico at Tipsy Chef Products for helping me produce this water bottle. But private label is something I'm going to look into in the future. For me, it's kind of like wholesale. I would want to do wholesale first because I'm comfortable with selling products, like physical products and goods. That's just the world that I come from, rather than, you know, making a new product that, you know, you have to create the brand awareness for and the demand. Obviously, I have learned a little bit about branding and stuff and marketing through time, so I feel like I have a hang on it. But again, it's just something that would require a lot of my attention that I don't have the time or focus to be able to get into right now.
Right. Respect on that. You're absolutely right. The guest that the Illuminati mastermind had on his show that was selling the insects, he talks about how he got ripped off. He sent some money to Hong Kong, and the dude left with the money, and so he lost money. But my second question is, you were mentioning Amazon merch.
Yeah.
So I went there last night, and they have a rather involved contractual agreement, and they make reference to the money that you would make as royalties.
Right.
And I was looking for the clause where it says that you own your design, and I did see it, but I mean, and I've got an above average understanding or reading comprehension of contractual contracts, if you will. But it also mentions that they own the intellectual property, because they design the T-shirts. You might provide them the logo, but they own the design because they put the logo where they want. And my fear is that they might not so much as steal your design, like they did with all those people that were selling private label at Whole Foods, and then they just, cut their listings, and now they're going to sell those products. But that because they own the intellectual property in designing the T-shirt, they can take that design just by changing it a little bit, and now they're going to sell it because they're out to make money.
Right, and that's the nature of the beast. That's the one thing that you got to know about Amazon is they're always going to do that in whatever form it is. When you go to a wholesale trade show, there is Amazon employees there trying to make the same relations that you're trying to make, right? So
exactly.
the name of the game, there's two ways you beat Amazon. You beat them in the short term by fulfilling customers' needs on many levels, like many different shirts that they didn't know customers needed or wanted, and at amounts that don't interest them to take over or whatever. And that's before. And if they were to take over, you could beat them through marketing and branding, because you can be one person that focuses on one product, and the marketing and branding of it, and they never are going to have one person dedicated to monitoring, Amazon basic batteries or something like that. But unfortunately, with the instance that you mentioned, them taking your designs and tweaking them, they definitely could do that. I haven't seen instance of that happening yet, but I wouldn't put it past them. That's that's how we're making the designs anyways, right? We're testing the market. We're checking the market to see what designs are already selling. And then we're going, I could make that a shirt that would appeal to that person for the same reason this shirt did, but I could make it better. So we're tweaking the design to make it better, but it's still based off of an existing selling idea, right? So you still own your designs. They don't own them, but yeah, you're definitely right on that one. And I did want to talk about the wholesale Whole Foods thing again real quick. Smash the like button, guys, if you're watching this and you feel like I'm providing valuable content. But so the video that I did a couple nights back talking about how Amazon shut down people that were selling Whole Foods products and didn't allow them to sell those products anymore. There's been an update on that, and the update is that several people that are involved in that scenario have contacted me to let me know that Amazon informed them that they will be buying their inventory from them. So these people are going to get reimbursed for the amount they would have got if they would have sold their inventory. So it's actually a good thing for them. I mean, it's bad because they're not going to be able to go forward with selling these products, but they're not going to lose money or have to donate their inventory. They're going to get what they would have got if they would have, in a sense, sold their entire inventory in one day at market value. And that's smart of Amazon because it means they're not going to go out of stock on these products while they're waiting to get the rest of the products in stock.
But I think, though, too, that it's smart because they realize that it's not even peaking yet, the Amazon seller opportunity. But they know that the word spreads fast. They're aware of these Facebook groups or what have you, and people, Amazon, YouTube personalities that word will get around. That they left those people, they ditched those people, and they made them pay, to destroy the product or to have to pay to have it shipped back to them. So them buying the product, that's not going to cost them anything, and now nobody can say anything bad about Amazon because they didn't leave those people holding. Because
right.
Most of those people, like you said, had all their eggs in that one basket. Now, the other thing, one more thing before I let you go so that other people can call in. You did mention that Trader Joe's has a private label. I was aware of that, but it didn't register until you mentioned it, and that some people are actually reselling Trader Joe's private label, and Trader Joe's is allowing that. That's not a restricted deal, or are people getting authorized
so basically,
to sell the Trader Joe's private
label? Amazon will let anybody sell anything on their platform regardless of who makes it, unless that person has put pressure on Amazon to restrict that brand for some reason, right? Or they've had a lot of problems with the authenticity, like Nike or something like that. But currently, from what I know, you can sell Trader Joe's brand products just like you could go get Safeway brand or you can get Costco brand Kirkland products and sell those on Amazon. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. A lot of people ask the question, you know, why doesn't Costco sell on Amazon? Why doesn't Trader Joe's sell on Amazon? Why doesn't? Well, for one, they're not very smart. They're not trying to adapt to the future mothership of Amazon. But a valid point to make is that they're vested in having customers come into their brick and mortar and shop. So if they have their products online, or in Amazon store online, that's an opportunity to lose a customer, not just once for that one product, but maybe forever on that product, right? Because why would they go into the store if they could get it on Amazon for a competitive price? So why doesn't Target sell on Amazon or Walmart sell on Amazon? It's because Amazon's their competition, and they don't want to increase the likeliness that their customers are going to be siphoned off to Amazon's platform especially not by offering their entire catalog on Amazon's sales platform. A lot of stuff's going to change between now and the future as far as how retail works and brick and mortar. I mean, I like to think about the way Amazon is doing Whole Foods is really genius. They mastered the online platform and the buying and selling of online, and they have the storage now, and they do like 1 hour delivery. Well, now they go and buy all these grocery stores, and they're going to put, other grocery stores out of business because they already dropped Whole Foods pricing by like 30 to 40% since they bought it, like really quickly the day the deal went through. And think about that. Like every Whole Foods is going to become a little mini Amazon distribution center. If you live within X amount of miles of a Whole Foods, you're going to be able to get groceries delivered in an hour. You're going to be able to order your Amazon order at home from Whole Foods using Amazon's platform, and then you're just going to walk up to the Amazon locker and it will be waiting for you outside the store or a curbside pickup or whatever, because that's how people shop now is online. But they're combining like this hybrid beast of online shopping into brick and mortar with the grocery store. Like I can't even really put it into words, but it's really genius because everyone else is trying to build up their online platform to work good with their brick and mortar. Well, Amazon already did that. Now they're going to consume all the retail stores and then bring them back to life after they put them out of business, except for they'll have a huge advantage because they have the whole online platform and they know that's how people like to shop, right? Because it's really efficient. And like, just think about that. Like when you shop online, there's like if you're walking around a grocery store, like the products have to be a certain width away from each other to allow for like wheelchairs and for people to walk through. And you have to like display them in a way that's like eye catching and all this crap, like if it's just a warehouse storing products and we're buying them online, that's a lot less employees use. That's more efficient storage of products. Like it's a lot more profitable.
No, you're exactly right. And I remember back in 1998, I mean, Amazon was losing money and everybody was talking about how they were losing money, but they had vision, or Bezos had vision. He knew that one day they would reign supreme because it was about whoever got on the internet first would be there the longest. So Anyway, my last thing that I wanted to mention to you is, and I'm sure you're probably aware of it, but there are major sellers, Amazon sellers that are receiving invitations by Walmart because Walmart is in the process, if they haven't already completed, a beta test in creating a competing platform,
right?
For like FBA. And so some people are getting invitations to cross over. And so there will be another competing platform at Walmart where,
they're gonna start offering fulfillment just like Amazon does. And I even seen, I believe their website name is similar. It's like, it might even say Seller Central also, or Sales Central or something like that. But basically, the more and more I think about it, I see Amazon as totally becoming the next Walmart. It's like huge monopoly status. I'm always worried that, at some point they're going to get hit with the large class action, like monopoly type lawsuit. But the thing is most of the stuff they do is for the benefit of the end consumer. It's not like they're monopolizing stuff so that they can raise prices. They're doing it to benefit the consumer, and they are still monopolizing stuff, which as far as I know, I don't think that's like against the rules or the laws. You know, it's against the laws when you monopolize stuff for your own gain, but not when you're doing it to bring value to the customer.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I was just checking out somebody, you know, in your chat. I guess he didn't like the fact that I made that comment about Walmart, and he's asking for you to let someone else call in. But maybe I didn't make that clear. I just wanted to know if you're aware that Walmart, I'm sure you are, that Walmart is going to be creating a competing platform where sellers like you and I can sell products.
Right. I believe anybody can sell on Walmart. You just need to apply to get on there. It's just a little bit more difficult than Amazon.
Exactly. So hey man, it's been cool. And by the way, because I will call into your show in the future, my name is Giovanni Sovereign, and I'm located out of Discovery Bay, California. And go ahead and take a call from someone else. Thanks a lot for the time.
Awesome. Thank you, Giovanni. Have a good night.
Hey, you too. Good night.
All right, that was a long one. If you guys called in while I was on the phone, please call back. 209-83 Reezy. I'm going to take a few more calls. We just passed the 1 hour mark on the show. If you're watching this, please smash the like button. I see there's 85 people watching and there's only 41 likes. So either 40 of you guys don't like it or you just haven't hit the like button. To just move your mouse over a little bit and boom, hit the thumbs up icon. It's pretty easy to do and I would appreciate it big time. If you're listening to this on my podcast, this was recorded live on YouTube. I do it every Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you show up, if you subscribe to me on YouTube, and turn the bell on, you will get a notification that I went live, and then you can pop into the chat and you can ask me questions or you can call in. The number is 209-83 Reezy. Also, you can ask anybody in the chat. The chat is pretty awesome. It's like a beast of its own. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. I can't even keep up with it. People are asking me questions in the chat and then other people answer them. It just happens really, really quickly. Let's see. Everyone spam Mike Poe. What is your opinion on the long-term outlook for third-party sellers on Amazon? Long-term is you know, that's a long-term. Long-term. There's a lot of time left, you know. I mean, I think there will always be third-party sellers on Amazon because Amazon can't always fulfill all the niches that need to be fulfilled. You're live on Reezy Talks. Who's this?
Hey, Reezy, this is Casey from the Great Flipping Team.
Hey, what up, Casey and Sam? How's Sam doing?
She's doing great.
Awesome. I just saw your guys' post on Instagram today. She was in the elevator, I believe, and she was talking about going to law school.
Yeah. She wants to possibly go towards that.
That's awesome. She could be all our lawyers then.
Yeah, she'll be the reseller community and she'll protect everybody.
Yeah, super lawyer.
Yep.
What's up, man? How can I help you? Or did you call in to give everyone a super pro tip?
Well, for today, I don't know. I was just calling in. Not a specific question. Just want to know how your merch was going. I see you posting a lot in the merch Facebook group with RJ Martinez and.
Yeah, so a little update.
How it's going for you.
Basically, what happened is I hit a point where I feel really confident about it, right? And generally, my spider sense is pretty on point when I feel like an opportunity is worthwhile. So I started to turn up and make sure I was getting my 10 shirts a day uploaded. But what happened was maybe about a week ago, I had hit $200 a month of profit on merch with only 50 or 55 t-shirts listed. And I can do 500. Wow. And so, and I pay $4 a design. So let's just put that to 50 for math's sake. 50 times $4, that cost me $200 for 50 shirt designs. I made some of those myself and I did poor research on some of them. So I could probably be doing better than 200 a month. You know, I should be getting better as I go along, right? But let's just say that was a fixed rate, which I think is a good underestimate, assuming I'm gonna get better or whatever. 50 shirts, $4 a design, $200 fixed rate one time, and it's generating $200 a month of payouts to my Amazon account. That's crazy, because when you times that out across the year, that's going to be what, $2,400 a year at a fixed cost of $200, right? And if you take it and you scale it up full time, not even considering that I'm getting better, you'd say I could have 500 shirts uploaded. So you take that 50 and you times it by 10, and also times the payout by 10. So now we're talking $2,000 a month payouts when I have 500 shirts listed at a fixed rate cost of $2,000 to design those shirts. So that's $24,000 a year at a $2,000 investment, right? One to 12 or whatever. And if you escalate that even further, I think RJ's at the 2,500 tier. That's 5 times that, which is $10,000 a month payouts at a one-time fixed rate cost of $10,000 to design 2,500 shirts, or excuse me, $120,000 a year payout for a $10,000 input.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, it's kind of like the return is kind of like book returns, right? It's a similar ratio to what you would get for books, or even, you know, that'd be a higher sell rate, like a $20 average sell price on books or something. But it's like what books used to be like 10 years ago, pretty much. But you think about that, and like, to me, there's a lot of things that it's really similar to books as far as the ROI, even more. But what I really like about it is that those designs sit there and keep making you money after you do the work one time, right? You get a design, you do.
The book goes away, the shirt stays.
Right. So your job is doing research on what shirts are going to sell, and you use some software tools and, you know, similar, looking at Keepa and Camel data, as well as keywords for your listings. And then you get a good design and you put it up, and then you get another one and you put it up, and you just keep going, and you don't ever look back. And then you get better and better. You retool your designs. You make some designs that sell all year round. You make some designs that sell only during the holiday that's popular right now. But of course, you store those and you put those back up every single year when that holiday comes around, right?
Right.
But yeah, you could do it from anywhere in the world. You don't need to store inventory anywhere. You don't need to have employees except for your designer. And there's no customer service. If someone returns their shirt on Amazon merch, you don't deal with it. You don't even have to give them a refund. You keep your money. Amazon refunds them out of their pocket. So to me, there's a lot of things about it that are really appealing. And I think because I've been traveling a lot this year, any type of way you can make money that doesn't require you to be like strapped down to a certain place is really exciting to me.
Yeah, it's awesome. And they are going to be probably moving into some other clothing.
Oh, yeah. I would not doubt that Amazon is going to start.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, they're not going to stick with just shirts. Right now, they can only do shirts, and they can only print, like, the shirt I'm wearing right now is an Amazon merch shirt. And it can only print in a certain rectangular area. I think this design pretty much fills it all up. But they're going to probably next, they'll move into sublimation printing, which means they can print shirts all the way to the seams. And that's like an all over print. And I wouldn't, I don't see why they wouldn't also at the same time introduce like socks and yoga pants and long sleeves and sweatshirts and, you know, all these other things. They'll probably do sweatshirts before they do hoodies, because hoodies, you can't lay them flat in the printers, you know, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, a little more.
Right. Right. So, but, you know, they're not going to stick with just shirts. If you look at the print on demand business, like other sites like Printful or Teespring or Redbubble, all of those products that they offer, I expect Amazon to be offering those products as well. So things like embroidery, right, where you can do whatever you want on a hat, like pretty much like the one I'm wearing right now. You know, this is called, I believe, puffy embroidery, where they put foam inserts under the embroidery before they go over it. But yeah, just look at those other. I was actually having a talk on RJ's group. It's called Amazon Merch Mastermind. Check that out. And he was saying, and we were talking about, you know, like you might as well start getting embroidery designs and, you know, designs for all those other products. Like some of your shirt designs could fit onto other products without much alteration at all. And if you, even worth putting in work into, obviously take your designs and put them up on the other sites, because you'll make less sales on those sites, but you'll make some sales, right? You might as well hire a VA to upload a design for like 50 cents each or whatever to each website, but invest time maybe into doing embroidery designs on those platforms, because that way when Amazon pops up with the ability to embroider, you'll have a cache of files that you can get ready to upload, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Well,
and if you have a following too that you can use to sell stuff to, like I use print on demand sites to do my own. I use Inktail and Printful to do my Reezy Resells merch. And like there's endless opportunity, you know. Like I know lots of people that are like, oh yeah, I have a Facebook group that has 100,000 members, and I'm like, what, doing what? And you wouldn't believe, like I think John Case has one with like 100,000 members or something. And I'm like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I just post motivational quotes. And I'm like, are you monetizing it? And he's like, oh, kinda. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Get on that, you know. Like I want to make socks that have like, and tell me how sick this is because I'd wear them, but socks that have all over print that have like bag of money emoji with the stack of books emoji.
oh yeah, that sounds good.
Dude, I'd wear them.
I'll buy them.
Exactly, right? If you'd buy it, you know it's got to be good, right?
Yep.
But yeah, it's fun and it's exciting, and it's cool for all those reasons that I was saying, that you're not going to have to deal with all the, you know, not a bunch of dusty books filling up your kitchen or your garage, or you're having to have a warehouse, or if you want to scale books to a massive level, you're going to need gaylords and dumpers and conveyor belts and all this stuff, you know, like that's a lot of overhead, right? So managing overhead, I've learned, even if it's just employees and smaller warehouses, it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of work. How about you? How's your sales going?
Sales with books are going good. We keep it steady.
Sales drop off? Did they drop off from the height of the book sale? Did your sales drop off from the height of book season?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It dropped off after textbook season, but I mean, we're keeping them steady and how it should be. We have about 1,300 books in inventory, so.
Did you have record highs for your, did you hit record numbers this year or what?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The textbook season was some record days. No $1,000 day yet, but I mean,
you'll get there, man.
So it's great.
You'll definitely get there.
It's just pretty dry out here, so we're definitely looking into other avenues like merch. We have an account open. We got some sales going, but
nice.
With merch, how when you're doing your research, I mean, with the low tiers, I know that it's probably best to stick with the best kind of, you know, like the Eclipse shirt. So it's good to jump on that if you could. Just anything that would get that quick sales, but.
Right. So there's a couple ways you can grow out of your tiers if you want to grow really quickly. One thing is you could buy your own shirts or have people buy them for you at really cheap needs. And that's obviously going to, like, if you know any party of people, like an organization or a party of people, if your friend needs bachelor party shirts or bachelorette party shirts, like ask them what they need and then make them and then reduce it to where you're not making any money and be like, here's the link, you know, just buy them. Or maybe a church that you are friends with is having an event or something, and you can design a shirt for them. The thing is that people can get shirts made for less than Amazon merch cost, because I think the break-even price is $12 or $13 for us. But you could get a good shirt silkscreen for like $7, but you need to have you need to get a certain minimum quantity made, like 50 or something like that. And then there's silkscreen setup charges, and it's just like, it's not something you can do quickly, right? So if someone wanted 10 shirts here or 20 shirts there, you could be the solution to their problem. And then at the same time, it can tier you up to the next level. So I got somewhat lucky. I had a Father's Day t-shirt that I made that sold over 100 times this year. And that's what put me into the 510 slot.
I'll do it.
Yeah, so besides that shirt, I think my second highest selling design has sold like 50, and then maybe a couple that sold 20, a good amount that have sold 10, and even more that have sold like 2 to 5. So it's not about, the thing is if you sell a shirt, you know, price it to where you make, let's say you make $4 and you paid $4 for the design. It sells once and you made your money back from that $4 investment. Everything after that is profit.
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's just a numbers game.
That Father's Day shirt that sold over 100 times. When did you upload that? You know, coming up to Father's Day,
maybe about a month before Father's Day.
A month or so.
Yeah.
Designer made that one.
No, I actually made that one myself. I made that. I made it in Photoshop. and I actually just had a really good idea. So that was that's why I say I got lucky, is because I didn't really do, obviously I knew Father's Day shirts would sell, but I took an existing selling phrase for Father's Day, and I twisted it up with like a hip hop style thing, and then I listed it, and in the description I put like happy birthday, Father's Day, hip hop fan, enthusiast type of thing or whatever. And it did really well. And I like I still sell maybe 5 or 10 of them a month, even after Father's Day, because it doesn't say Father's Day. Because it doesn't say Father's Day on the shirt. It's like, best dad or #1 best dad or something like that.
Yeah. So it still applies. That's great.
Yeah, so it's evergreen, right? And so that's another thing about Amazon merch. If you have that same shirt, it's #1 best dad. Once you get the design, make sure that your designers are giving you the Photoshop files or the Illustrator files, so that you own the designs, right? So, and make sure you stipulate that with your designer. But that way you can make alterations, such as color alterations to make it look good on white shirts maybe, or just to change the word dad to the word mom. And now you paid once for one design, but you got 2 designs.
Yeah, that's great.
Or
how many, sorry.
#1 brother, #1 grandpa, #1 cousin, like it's ridiculous. So people will buy almost anything, right? It's just how Americans are.
Yeah. After posting that hit shirt, how fast the sales come in for that?
I'd say I got a few. I got a few.
Oh, man,
I got a few here and there, but then I started getting like 10 sales a day. And I was like, that's when I bumped the price up to $19.99 from, I did $12.99 at first, and then $14.99, and then $16.99. And it wasn't seeming to affect the sale price, or the sale volume. So I just put it to $19.99, and that's where I've left it. I haven't had the balls yet to make any of my shirts more than $19.99.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no really, the jury is out on that. Some people say that you should do low prices to stimulate the sales, and then once you get a review or get a ranking, slowly raise it up and test the market to see if it affects your volume of sales. Other people just say I price it at full rate right away, because instead of just breaking even off of the first sale, you make, $5 or $7, and that's a big difference, especially if a shirt's only going to sell 1 time or 2 times, But
yeah,
the one cool thing is that, like, all you really want to happen is for the design to sell at least once, because you make all your money back, right? So after that, anything after that is gravy.
Right. And your designer, do you find them on Fiverr or Upwork?
So I tried finding a designer on Upwork, and I didn't have any good luck. So then I went to Fiverr just purely out of frustration. And they have like a nice little, they have the designers organized on Fiverr by what they make. And so I went through the shirt one, and I messaged about 10 or 15 different ones, and I sent them all the same script. And I asked them, to make samples for me. And of the ones that made good samples of what I requested, I contracted them to make 5 shirts each for $20. And I went through 5 guys before I found the one girl that I'm using now that is really phenomenal. Like, literally, if I had to rank those ones that I went through, they were like a 2 to a 3 at best. And this chick is like a 7 to a 9, depending on what kind of design I give her, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. So they're out there. And I think RJ, I think RJ pays like $2 a design, and he got his designers on onlinejobs.ph, which is, I think you can get a better deal on your end of it from there, because it costs money to get into that platform to check out the designers. So it's just a different ball game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad it's going well for you. We're going to be trying to step it up too.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. Get in the RJ's group, man. It's a lot of fun.
I am. Yeah, I am. I read it all the time.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in.
Of course. I'm glad it's going well. Glad you got moved in. And
oh, you guys moved?
No, I'm glad you got moved in.
Oh, yeah, me too. I got to make this video. We got a new house. I don't think it's going to do as good as the we got evicted video, but I got to make it anyways. People are like, they constantly message me now. They're like, you guys got a place? And I'm like, oh yeah, shit. I forget. Not everyone follows me on Instagram. They just check in on YouTube, and I left them hanging.
Yeah. Yeah, update everybody.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, bro. Later. All right, guys, let me check in on the chat because that was a long call. Been having some long calls. There was a question about toys earlier. Anybody remember it? Upscale Sales says you want passive income, win the lottery. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Can you give me some pro tips on winning the lottery, please? Let's see. Investing in real estate and affiliate marketing can be nearly passive and hands-off investing. Yeah, definitely good. Affiliate marketing is something that I can attest to. Definitely not passive. You have to work on it, especially up front on building a following and gaining people's trust so that they value your opinion and your recommendation. I mean, some people try to do affiliate marketing where they really have no trust and no awareness built up around themselves. Like, have you ever had someone message you like, try this, and you're like, who the hell are you? Why should I try this? Who the hell are you? That's those people. Real estate is something I'm hoping to get into. In the next year, I want to buy a house or a rental property, but I'm going to wait till the market allows me the right entry time for that. Do you tell your designer about Amazon? My designer does know that we are making shirts for Amazon and hope to have someone uploading shirts for me so that I don't have to upload the designs anymore. They would put them into draft status for me, and then I would write the descriptions and the titles. Let's see. There are so many Amazon YouTube personalities that bore me to death, but Reezy does not, even when he's taking a call and we have to entertain ourselves. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I try to be entertaining, honestly. That's the one thing I told myself when I decided to start doing this, reselling, influencing social media stuff, YouTube, is that most people that do it are extremely boring, and all they do is give you tips here and there, and they're not funny, they're not interesting, they're not showcasing their personality, they're very monotone, and they just put me to sleep. So I just told myself that I was going to be different. I was going to be the cool Amazon reseller guy. And I guess I'm doing a good job. Let's see. Why? Yeah. Let me know, guys, if someone is doing something in the chat that they're not supposed to be, because it's very hard for me to keep up with it. You guys are super active out there. Hamilton B has a question. It says, do dropshippers really make good money? In your opinion, of course. I question why someone would pay more for an item on a Shopify page when they can most likely find it on Amazon. They definitely do. I have heard of dropshippers doing upwards of $250,000 a day in sales using Facebook ads, Shopify, ClickFunnels, all that stuff. But the thing is the lead time from China to here takes a really long time, and you get a lot of pissed off customers, a lot of customer service, very small margins sometimes. So it's just a give and take like anything else. RJ Martinez, he did a little bit of drop shipping. He has more experience than I do. I have a friend, Calvin Truong, that is getting into drop shipping heavily. He actually quit selling on Amazon to do drop shipping full time, but I believe he has evolved it to where he holds inventory himself. But there is a lot of people out there making a lot of money drop shipping. The thing is it's just like private label, where because it appeals to everybody, because you can do it from your computer without getting up off your butt, and everyone has a computer and nobody wants to get off their butt, it's a high target for Furu. So keep your Furu feelers on alert if you're looking into stuff like that. But definitely nice. What up, Chad Brumsfield? Sam says he's running with scissors. Is that bad? I don't know. If you got something to cut in a hurry, it might be awesome. Yeah, $250,000 a day, Mike. Look into it if you don't believe me. Drop shipping is serious. Like, Americans will buy anything. You put the right Facebook ad in front of them and you can generate sales, guaranteed. Rudy Voss says, question, what are some tips for people trying to sell toys? Oh, I'm so sorry that I missed your question. I'm not going to take another call. No more calls for the rest of the show, but I will answer this question. So ranking, sourcing, and restrictions. So with restrictions, someone called earlier and they said that Scoutify is still, oh my God, my butt hurts from sitting down. Let me hold the microphone up real quick. Someone said that Scoutify still shows restrictions on your products, and I believe that is, if that's true, which I'm going to check tomorrow, that would be a huge resource for people that are scouting toys. Now, for sales rank, you don't really want to buy toys that are over 100,000 sales rank, especially if you're trying to capitalize on fourth quarter and sell a lot of units. You want to get toys 50,000 or less, or in the off season 100,000, and be aware that a toy that's 100,000 in June is a decent toy, but a toy that's 100,000 in November is a terrible toy, because by November the sales have started to pick up and people are getting ready for Christmas. So sales rank is not static. It's dependent on the search volume for that kind of item during that time. So I would say make sure you're checking restrictions on brands. Make sure you're able to sell it using the Amazon Seller app or Scoutify if that's going to work. If you have Inventory Lab, you have Scoutify for free. And make sure that, more important than sales rank, just look for sales velocity by looking at the sales rank over history. You want to make sure that if you're buying 10 units, you want to make sure that it's selling at least 10 units or more, maybe 50 units in an X amount of time period, so that you have a good chance to get your 10 sold. Let's see if I missed anything else about that question. I'm sorry, I cannot share my merch designer. Sometimes she doesn't even make the 10 shirts that I need in one day, so I can't share her because I need all of her attention. But I guarantee you that you can find one with a little bit of time spent emailing designers and sending them sample requests to design. It's very easy to tell for $5 whether or not someone's going to be able to make good designs for you or not. You send them an example and send different examples to each person. That way, if they make a decent design, you have a usable design for that $5. But, most of the time they're going to send you a design and right away you're going to go, oh, that's crap. I'm not going to sell that one at all. I'm not going to work with that person. And then you go to the next one. I believe it might be a bit of a pro tip is to look for female designers. Maybe I just got lucky, or maybe that's random, but I went through 5 guys, and then the first female designer that I worked with just crushed it super hard. So that kind of makes sense to me that girls would make good designs because they have good attention to detail, fashion, design, that kind of stuff. For sourcing toys, I would recommend sourcing toys. Obviously, Toys R Us is going to be huge. Anywhere that sells toys, online arbitrage is going to be huge. Whether you're using tactical arbitrage, there's a link down there for you guys to sign up for a free trial. I think they actually might be closed for now, so you might have to try OA X-Ray. But some kind of software that's going to allow you to peruse an online store very quickly and evaluate the purchases is going to save you a lot of time. And also, guys, don't neglect that when you find a product, when you're doing retail arbitrage that can make you good money, look on the packaging, because the distributor or the wholesale or the manufacturer's contact information is listed on the packaging. And through that, you can possibly land a wholesale account that will allow you to source those products on and on into the future for a good deal. So photograph the wholesale or distributor contact information that's on the packaging of the retail items that you're sourcing. You might as well do it. I know plenty of people that are getting into that and have found suppliers that way. Burgoy, I don't even know how to say that. Aristocracy, what brand mic is that? This is the Yeti Blue mic. I know it's not blue, it's black. It's a Yeti microphone. I think they cost about $100. Could be a little less. It's pretty nice though. Is Upscale Sales asking to be an administrator in here? Let's see. What's up, Wade? How you doing, Wade? Nice to see you, man. If you guys don't follow Wade Ventures on Instagram, check him out. He's constantly posting good, valuable information. He just, like, every other day, he's got, like, actually every day lately, he got like a whole cart full of profit. Lately, he's addicted to ink cartridges. So check him out on Instagram, Wade's Ventures. Cool dude, doing eBay, learning Amazon. Just get in the community. He's doing well, and I'm sure you could learn from him for sure. what's your new rank and price point for books since the new fees? I try to go no lower than $10 for books, and $12 is much better for me. It just depends on what price we're paying and how much a book weighs. Upscale Sales has a question. Says, Reezy, do you get stressed about the future? I do, and I don't have a family. If so, how do you cope? I deal with things day to day as they come to me. Obviously, I plan for the future so that I know where I want to go and what I want to do, even if it's only the next month or the next day, and maybe small scale plans for the next year. But I do never worry about anything. Do not worry. Worry is what is poison that will infect your brain. Do not worry about anything. As long as you're positive and you're ready to put the work into play that's necessary, everything will be all right and you'll be okay. Just do what, like Bob Marley says, don't worry. That's totally not the melody, but everything will be all right. And I don't know. I just learned that growing up here in Santa Cruz, it's like a hippie community, is that I learned to value happiness over security. So when you value your happiness, you figure out how to make it work. If one door closes, there will always be another door for you to find to open. But do not worry about the future. That's the kind of stuff that makes you lose sleep at night. I fall asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow, unless I'm thinking about a business idea or some kind of creative thing. But for the most part, I sleep really well, and I don't worry about the future at all. Everything's going to work out. It always has so far. I always land on my feet. And I feel like if you focus on your strengths and don't worry, don't think about the unknown. If it comes, deal with it, hit that curveball, but don't worry about it so much because you can't control the unknown anyways. There's no point in worrying about it. Let's see. Did she design the shirt that you have on? No, I actually made this shirt. This is a word-based shirt, and I made this in an app called Word Swag or Typorama. I forget, but both of these apps, you just type in phrases and then you press a button and it generates a layout for you. So that's very cool. If you guys don't want to hire a designer, you don't have the time, excuse me, you can design your own shirts using Word Swag or Typorama. But be warned that the fonts that are included in the app are not legal for you to use for profiting purposes. But both of those apps allow you to import fonts that you have paid money for and you have the rights to use for profiting purposes. I don't know the right word to use for that. So buy some fonts, import them into the app, and then you can make your own designs with that. That makes me want to give you guys another tip real quick. I'm going to share with you some of the apps that I use for designing shirts on my phone when I have ideas. So I use Typorama, I use Word Swag, I use an app called Over, which is essential because that allows you to size your design to the right size for uploading to Amazon. When I do upload a design to Amazon Merch from my phone, I use a browser called Puffin. Other browsers will not work, but this browser will. More apps that I use to design, I use one called Vintage Design. I use one called Assembly, one called Fonto, Phonto, and one called Artisto. And there's way more apps than that, but those apps are the ones that I like to use, and I can get a good amount of stuff done generating especially text-based designs on my phone like that if you happen to have an idea. And another thing is if you go somewhere where there's a lot of people, be observant of the shirts that people are wearing because that's good ideas for shirts for you to make for your merch. If people are wearing it in public, someone would probably make it in real life. I mean, it's already been purchased, so it's kind of like the market's been tested already on that one. Let's see if we got any more questions because we're running on an hour and 30 minutes here. I'm getting sweaty and yeah, dragging it out a little bit. I have trouble getting my background transparent on Adobe. Yeah, I don't use Photoshop so much. I use those apps that I mentioned. There's also one more I didn't mention that I use called Superimpose. That lets me remove the background on images. That's very important. And I use some other apps too. There's so many different apps that you can use that have filters and stuff in them that will allow you to do different stuff. Photo Studio, some comic book effects. There's PixArt. There's just so many. There's even Photoshop on your phone. There's an app called Word Photo. That's pretty cool. There's just so much stuff you could do on your phone. Thanks for the tip, Wade. Really appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Hit me up. I want to get your address, Wade. I'm going to send you a little package. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, that pretty much sums it up for me. I think I've talked myself into a lack of words, which is actually kind of hard to do. Let's see. Resale Dude says, Reezy, why aren't you doing more Instagram live? So what? Why am I not doing? So I like to do YouTube because YouTube pays me, obviously. So if you guys have questions and you want to interact with me live, I want to do it on YouTube because YouTube pays me. So that's one reason. The other reason is I'm not doing so much stuff that's interesting to show on Instagram live. I'm still adjusting to my new schedule after moving into a new house, which everything's still in boxes, a lot of stuff. But I have Luna with me. My wife is full-time at college, so a lot of the time I am barely struggling to get my own work done and pay attention to my child and maybe make some cereal or some chicken McNuggets for lunch or something. I don't know why I said McNuggets. That's how powerful branding is. I call them McNuggets even when they're just chicken nuggets. Trader Joe's brand, guys, don't hate on me. But yeah, so that's one reason. But I have been lagging on Instagram Live, and you pointed it out. So I think I will make an effort to try and go more live on Instagram and just do basically what I'm doing right now, like little Q&As on Instagram Live, like little 10-minute Instagram lives. But basically my time has been at a premium lately, so I haven't had time to pull over and do my Instagram lives. But obviously I am working on my YouTube and I have to maintain this, and I've committed to doing this show regularly on Mondays. So that is why I still do this show, and I'm not doing as much Instagram live. Bargain Shopping says she loves Luna. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Tina's Closet says, don't you have to be careful using other people's designs due to copyrights? What do you mean about using other people's designs? Let me set this microphone down. Again, guys, if you're watching right now, I got these water bottles for sale. These are 40 ounces, double wall, stainless steel with the flip top lid and the straw. It keeps your hustle hydrated. You could put coffee in this if you could drink that much coffee, but I just use water. They're $25 plus shipping, available from my merch store. Let me put the link in right here. And if you guys want to support me, that's a great way to support me and then also get a product that will be of use to you out of it. This is my first private label product that I did with my personal brand, and I'm kind of stoked on it, and I would love to get one of these into your hands. Today's the first day that I started packing orders, and I just announced them yesterday, and I sold 8 or 9 of them so far. So only 111 left to go, but I'm pretty stoked on it. They're pretty nice. There is a reseller meetup on October 21st in Northern California in Pleasanton, I believe. The person that's hosting that is Thrifty Boss Babe. Let me put her Instagram here real quick. So it's not my meetup, but I will be there along with Posh Hanger and 10K on the Bay and Mary Feel Good Finds. Also, Rob Earth Chakra Now is going to show up, and Josh McCallery Vogue Squared is going to show up and be there, as well as eBay Corporate and USPS, the postal service, will be there. So it'll be a good little dinner meetup, meet and greet, and we're going to do a 1-hour Q&A panel. It should be really nice. But I'm going to have a merch table set up, and I'll have these available for $25 flat, so you can avoid the $10 shipping charge. I apologize about the $10 shipping charge, but it's a heavy water bottle, good quality, so there's really no way to get around it. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thank you for tuning into the show. If you would please smash the like button before I end the show, I would really, really appreciate that. That helps me, or helps with the YouTube algorithm to show the video to more people. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you called in, thank you very much. If you provided questions, thank you very much. If you're just hanging out with us, I appreciate you, and thanks for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram at Reezy Resells. Follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group with 14,000 members or so. It's a really good group. No one's selling anything there except for me. I might post my water bottle once in a while. But for the most part, it's just people in there that are really helpful, helping each other. You can be, as long as you're not being offensive to people, you can cuss in there and you can, have a good time. It's not super stick in the butt, right? It's super chill. Snapchat, if you got Snapchat, I got Snapchat. I haven't been too active on there, but I am active once in a while, and I always reply to messages. If you guys need to contact me, you can contact me on Instagram DM, on Twitter. Send me, call into my Anchor FM radio station. I made a couple videos about Anchor. If you don't know what it is, check those out. If you hate the new FBA scan update, I just did a video about that, explaining it. Check that out. And otherwise, guys, I just appreciate your time. And until next time, if you ain't flipping, you slipping.